Hello and happy Wednesday, Chase. It is the 21st of January, if you can believe it. And we have.
I can believe it.
It's been a long January. Fuck the Counting Crows long December. They've never had a January from 2026. We've got a deep dive to get through tonight, Chase. The first deep dive of the year, the first deep dive in our renewed focus. Deep dives aren't new to the casual hour, but what we're doing tonight kind of is. I mean, it'll feel familiar, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we've done this style of thing before, but yes, we have
Yeah.
a way and a schedule that we're going to be doing these things that is different from the years that we've done deep dives before. So the content will look similar, but the way we're presenting it over time will be slightly different.
That's fair. I'm checking to make sure. All right, your audio is working. Perfect. That is what is important. Audio is working. If you're unfamiliar with what a deep dive is,
because I'm going to be talking a lot this episode.
Yeah, Chase is the host of this deep dive. We try to divvy these up throughout the year, where we are going to be rotating between games that we'll talk about, a singular game or maybe a series of games. We do magazine deep dives. We do lists where it can be like the best Mario Kart items of all time, according to Bobby and Chase, or according to GameStop, and then we critique it, or whatever it may be. And also hardware show and tells, which we've done a lot of those in the past. Chase has a whole basement, room, attic. I don't quite know where you keep everything, but you got a lot of stuff to share.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere,
wherever
baby.
It fits.
But tonight is a very special deep dive on a singular game that I do not know, because Chase has been holding his cards incredibly close to the vest.
Except for one little slip up.
And I blame Elon Musk. I blame Elon Musk for a lot of things. So that works great for me. Any chance I get, I will blame that piece of shit for something. But we are going to be talking about a singular game, both on what you've been playing and in the deep dive. And to get through the appetizer to that main entree tonight, Chase, you and I have been playing the same game, which doesn't happen too often here at the show. Planets sometimes do align. The next question I have is, we've been playing the same game, but do we both like the same game? And that game is Big Hops, which came out.
Big Hops
Came out on January 12th from Luckshot Games. This is the sophomore entry in their catalog. And I think certainly like the biggest, I dare I say commercially recognized game, but Big Hops I have seen make the rounds.
What was their first game?
Let me pull that back up. Luckshot Games put out a game called Sausage Sports Club that came out July of 2018.
It sounds kind of familiar.
This has a goofy, more polished look compared to the cell shaded. Okay. But yeah,
I've definitely seen this game before, but I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, this is the same developer, allegedly, apparently, whatever we want to say here. But Big Hops will set you back. Currently, I think it's $15. 20 bucks. 20 bucks for Big Hops. It is out on Switch and PC. We covered this on our monthly preview episode. Chase, how are you feeling about Big Hops? How much time have you put into it? Where are you playing it? What are your initial hot takes?
I am in what's it called? Duster Bluffs?
Duster Bluffs. Yeah.
Duster Bluffs. I'm getting to the town hall where all the citizens have
all right, you're going to start to hear some complaints,
some stuff about the story, about what's going on here. But I'll say that I guess I'm about, I don't know, what would you say, like 4-ish hours in?
Yeah,
and that's because I'm also doing all the challenge and side content stuff that I can because Bobby, I'm having a really good time with Big Hops.
I'm having a really good time with Big Hops as well. I'm going to see if I can get my actual hour count in on that really quick. So I have 6.2 hours in this game according to Steam, and I am just beyond, maybe slightly beyond Duster Bluffs where you're at. So I think that this game feels very, very, very mature. And very, not necessarily story wise, but
sure
for being
it's about a cartoon frog. So
100%.
This is an adult game, but you're right. There is it feels like a game that has its maturity through mechanics, maturity
competence
through yeah. I think those are fair to say.
It just feels really good, and I say this not to be like disparaging of indie games, but this game feels like I remember, Mario games feeling. And I think that it's slightly off from like that Nintendo polish and quality when it comes to just both the way it looks and the way it feels. But it's been a long time since I've had a game that feels so good from a platforming standpoint. And much like fighting games and much like beat 'em up games, platformers are some of the oldest games I've been playing. And I've seen the best and the highs and the lows of that genre to the point where I don't need a whole lot more from it. Like, I enjoy a platformer, but man, when a platformer starts to stick, I really just love a good platformer. And I think the charm is here. The style is great. The juice is great. I love the puzzling I think that's very inventive in how you can use and grow and change the environment. Like, there's probably a lot of differences that you and I've had on how we've accomplished similar tasks, even with the same tools. And I think that's pretty fascinating that they've given you some degree of agency in how you would choose to use those tools and mechanics in the game to solve the same problem that you would go through, that I would go through.
Yeah, it does feel a lot like Mario, but it also feels a lot like Zelda, and it
Yep.
feels a lot like Grow Home to me.
Oh yeah,
as somebody who
big
played Grow
time.
Home a long time ago. Like, it's a developer who has taken all of these, not necessarily disparate elements, but taken these elements from different games and found a way to bring them together in a really nice, synergistic package.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've heard complaints on, I've had complaints myself on, when it comes to Mario games, especially more modern Mario games, is they give you such a great tool set of things that you can do as Mario, and then the game itself doesn't ask you to do any of those things. It doesn't require any sort of mastery from you.
Precision.
Because right, because they want to, Nintendo games. It's a Mario game. It should be for everybody. We can't put anything too hard in the Mario game. We want people to finish it, and that leads to rather milquetoast campaigns of Mario.
Sure.
Now, that will sometimes, in the case of something like Super Mario 3D Land, that will unlock the Luigi version of the campaign where it's a lot more difficult.
Right.
Or in something like Super Mario Sunshine, there were the challenge missions that were separate from the whole game. They took away the oh damn, what's the water thing called?
Super Mario Sunshine? The backpack? Oh.
Yeah. Flood. They took flood away from you. And you just had to use straight up Mario platforming to play a game like that. I don't really think there was anything like that in Odyssey. There were some kind of side missions and things, but again, still nothing really that challenged you to use all the cool cappy skills that you had. And this game is able to say, here's a big suite of skills, and you learn that you actually have more skills as you progress into the game. Like the sliding was something I didn't know that I had until I talked to a character and was like, "Oh, you want to try like our slide race?" And I went, "I don't know how to slide." And they went, "Yeah, you do. It's just like this." And I went, "Oh shit, I can slide. That's great."
Or the long jump is like not done the way that your brain would tell you to do it, where you like pull a Z trigger and then hit it. Like, there's some differences there where it's like they don't tell you that you can do this stuff, and you kind of by happenstance fall into it. And it's really cool. Like, some of those challenge levels you mentioned is like how I've learned more about the mechanics, which is weird because I feel like you should be mastering them there. So it's almost like a tutorial, but a high ceiling tutorial that you're going to be having to clear.
And I would also say, like, the normal game has, I guess the critical path does not necessarily have high skill ceilings, but just there's so much stuff to go around and explore, and those require a little bit of mastery here or there to be able to get to those higher places, or to be able to get to a place that's really far and figure out how you have to use your combination of skills to get there. And that gives me an interest to go, okay, I want to get there. How do I do that? How can I use this combination of skills, and what can I do, and where can I go, and how can I exploit something here?
How do you exploit physics? For sure.
Totally. And even like you said, there seems to be multiple ways of going about some of these problems based on some of the items that you're able to get and use, consumable kind of items. And putting that stuff all together makes for just this really satisfying experience of play, of expression, of how the jump works.
Yeah.
And I think they've really nailed these systems and made for just this really fun, expressive game. And
Yeah.
I'm having a really good time with it.
And I'll briefly just kind of tie this thing up so we can get into the real meat here. But the game takes place in kind of like an isekai a little bit, like you're thrown through this whole situation into a new universe. You're trying to find your way back home. You need ship parts. And so each level is like, hey, your princess is another castle, or hey, here's the ship parts, or here, go talk to this person. So that's the gist of what you're doing. And there's a series of trees throughout it that grow different fruit. And these fruits have all different kinds of mechanics that do squirrely things. Like one might be, this is going to make a big branch that you'll get to climb up. Another one is going to be harpoon rope lines that have bounce to it. And then there's other ones that you kind of like hone into. And of course you have your tongue, which allows you to grapple onto things or eat things or collect things. And there's a whole really cool trinket system where these challenges give you an item that unlocks or gives you like these, what are they called? Like the deep something, or what are those?
The dark drips.
Yeah, dark drips. So you go through that and you're building up a drip, and then you get to do a this or that for your trinket, and they're attached to your backpack, and you have to swap them out because you only have so many slots, and they can be like, hey, remove some of the friction on my belly so I slide even further. Another one might be, hey, I'm going to expand your backpack so you can have more trinkets. Cool. All that stuff is fun. There's also a bug collection element to it, which is really cute. And it's very Bug Snacks-esque, where it's like, hey, I don't know what this bug is. Like, tell me about it.
And you have to. It's a little Bug Snacks. It's a little Animal Crossing too,
yeah.
where you catch it, and then I really like it's not even really a mini game, but you're just rotating the bug around.
Yes.
As your character Hop is explaining what this bug might be, and like, oh, it's fuzzy and it's making a little buzzing sound. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I know, it's a bumblebee.
Yeah.
And then you get that kind of in your catalog, and then you can eat it because you're a frog, or you can put it in your backpack and save them for later. That's also been really fun. Like not really an important collection thing.
No.
This isn't Banjo-Kazooie when you have to get jiggies and all sorts of different things to progress. None of that shit is required to progress. But it is just all kind of sitting out there in the same way that coins in Mario sometimes are. It's not really that you need the coins. Who cares? But it's that it's just that little incentive to go, hey, you should try to come up here because there's stuff here if you want to get it. And I want to get it. I want to get that stuff.
Always want to get this stuff. So yeah, I'm having a really good time with it. I will just flag that I've played it in handheld and on my desktop. This thing plays great in handheld. So if you have a Switch 2 or a Switch, or you have like a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally, any of those things, it'll be a really good fit there. $20. I think we'll be talking about it probably a little bit more as we're both progressing through it, because they are adding more stuff. So I think there's some updates that we'll give on it, but really cool time for indie games. There's a lot of other shit we'll talk about next week. But we have a deep dive to get to, and I'm going to flip around a few things here, and Chase is going to be, you tell me when you got that ready to go, and I'll pop over our stream layout here to give us a better view.
I have it ready to go.
Okay. All right, everybody. It's time for a deep dive with Chase. Chase, what are we doing here?
Oh, Bobby, we're going to talk about a very specific video game. Oh, I'm looking at it on the stream. This does look nice. This is I made this correctly.
You did it right.
Knowing that our faces were going to be on the top left corner, I was like, okay, I got to make sure.
I was trying to tell Chase, really funny, like inside baseball. I was trying to tell Chase what to do. He's like, wait, are you trying to tell me how to like design the stream? I'm like, no, I just want you to write justify. And we went back and forth on like, is it justify? Is it this? So anyway, Chase laid out this presentation. If we're looking a little weird, our pictures, I'm trying to get this through Discord, and a lot of hope and good vibes. So bear with us, folks.
All right. I'm gonna not do what I see literally everybody else who does a slideshow, either at my work or just general on the internet. They always do this. Bobby, does this piss you off at all?
Leave the mouse right there.
Leave the fucking cursor on the presentation. Get that shit out of here.
I don't know why it doesn't just like disappear until movement is detected.
That'd be nice.
But yes,
just to make sure this is going to work the way I want, because I'm pretty sure I can just use my arrow keys. I do have to click into the thing. All right, that's fine. All right, Bobby, the game that we're going to be talking about today is
Advent Rising. I don't know.
Bobby, do you know anything about the video game Advent Rising?
I know, like, the name sounds familiar, but I don't know anything else about it besides that.
Good. Perfect. This is exactly the amount of knowledge I wanted you to know about Advent Rising.
Okay.
And honestly, probably about as much knowledge as anybody should know about Advent Rising. Unfortunately, Bobby, I know a lot more about Advent Rising, and it's interested me to no end for a very long time.
Can I ask you a quick question? I pulled it up on Steam, and it tells me that, is this game relevant to you? And it says similar games that you've played: Star Wars Outlaws and Helldivers 2.
Okay.
Does that track?
Yeah, those would be newer ones. We'll talk about some other games that are kind of its contemporaries. Let's get a little bit get some base knowledge of Advent Rising. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Quick facts about Advent Rising. Did I get this one right?
You got it right too, man. You're batting 1,000.
Look at that beautiful layout. This is the game's box art here on the right side. But this is
I do know that box art.
Yeah, it's good box art.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, Bobby. This is developed by GlyphX Games. This is their first game. Before they made games, they made box art for other companies' games.
But this also feels so. Can I ask a really quick? I don't know if you have it here. Oh, you have Xbox. I'm gonna say this looks like a very Xbox box art.
Extremely Xbox game. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This was an Xbox exclusive, and then I believe it came to PC a little bit later.
Okay.
And then I believe it was also on OnLive later, which that doesn't count. That's not real. But developed by GlyphX Games, published by Majesco, released in 2005 in May. Like we said, for Xbox and PC, rated T for teen. Important. You're not going to see any boobs here. But it was also created by Donald Mustard. If you don't know who Donald Mustard is, and we'll talk a little bit more about the legacy and the aftermath of Advent Rising here in a second. Well, in a while. He went on to make Chair Entertainment. They made Shadow Complex and Infinity Blade, and then they got bought by Epic, and he made a little game called Fortnite. I don't know if you're familiar with Fortnite.
I see that he hasn't really done anything since Fortnite. I guess he's set for life.
Yeah. In fact, I believe he's left Epic at this point. And just said, I'm good. I'm the co-creator of Fortnite. I got my money. I'm good. God. I'm out of here.
Man, so think about looking at that product now and just seeing what it is from when he gave it to them. That's crazy. All right, so this guy, what you're saying is there's a pedigree here.
Yeah, but not at this point, because this is their first game. So nobody really knew anything about GlyphX Games or Advent Rising or Donald Mustard. This is kind of the first really hearing about it. Advent Rising, to catch other people up to speed here, is a third-person action-adventure game. It's based on this story by Orson Scott Card, who is not a great guy, pretty homophobic these days. He also would go to write Shadow Complex, and there was some controversy about some of his homophobic things that he said then. Don't worry about it. That's not too important to what we're talking about here. The game is set in this sci-fi world, and you play as Gideon Wythe, whatever.
Yes.
And he speaks to an alien race called the Aurelians, who view humans as gods. But then he learns that there's another alien race out there called the Seekers, who are planning to eradicate the human race because they're too dangerous. The game had this really ambitious feel to it. It had third-person shooting, it had dual wielding, it had psychic powers, it had melee combat, it had vehicle segments. If you're hearing that and going, that sounds like a lot of video games that I played in the mid-2000s. Well, Bobby, that's because it very much is. This is pure Xbox gaming mid-2000s style. Halo 2 released the year before. Mass Effect would release a couple of years later. The Star Wars prequel trilogy is happening. This is space opera time.
I mean,
this is the time you live for, Bobby.
There's a lot of what you are dealing with today of me because of this time that you were describing.
Yes.
You know this. Like Like
Bobby's getting to see Star Wars in the theater. Then he's getting to go home, drink his Mountain Dew, play Xbox Live for his Halo 2. This
is 2005, right?
Yes.
May of 2005. So this would have been correct. This would have been me entering into my sophomore year of college. So I mean, 100%. Like this was also like going into the 360, right? That year.
Yes, this is a pretty late era Xbox game, and we're getting ready for 360 gaming. You know, like I said, Mass Effect is on its way. Who's the bad guy in Mass Effect? I forgot his name.
The Elusive Man.
No, that's Mass Effect 2. And I mean the
Saren or Saren.
Yeah. Right? I was going to say Siler, but that's from Heroes.
That is from Heroes.
It starts with S. It doesn't matter. But
villain, Mass Effect.
Starts with S. We know
is it. Tarek?
No.
Hang on. Saren. It is Saren.
Saren. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the gas. Everybody knows.
Yes.
Anyway. Space opera shit really hot these days. Trilogies really hot these days. You know, we just mentioned Halo, Mass Effect, Star Wars, all very big trilogy-based franchises. And Advent Rising was billed as its own trilogy from the very beginning. Like, guys, we're going to make 3 video games, and we're going to start with Advent Rising. Get in on the ground floor. We're doing this. They actually ended up buying the URL adventtrilogy.com. Don't click on that, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Not yet anyway. Adventtrilogy.com, before the first game even came out, this was the website they wanted people to go to because they were so sure this is going to be the next big thing. We got this big sci-fi writer who's on it who we didn't know sucked yet, but well, maybe we kind of knew he sucked, but mainstream didn't know he sucked. We were building this game that is taking from all of these elements of all these things that we love. What could possibly go wrong, Bobby?
A lot.
Let's watch a little bit so you just get an idea of what's happening here. I think Bobby has this muted, but
I do.
You don't have to listen to it.
Man, do you remember how impressive the Xbox era cinematics felt at the time?
It was pretty cool.
This would have been like mind blowing to me. Back in 2005, I'd have been like, "Fuck, graphics have never been better. Look at this."
Totally, you could not do this on a PS1,
dude. I exclusively remember telling people like the Xbox 360 gameplay will be up to par with the Xbox cinematics. It's like that's what I thought, and but this looks like some Xbox ass shit, dude.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't call these aliens generic exactly, but not having facial features does feel like a very cop-out kind of thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely.
Also, Bobby, look at these legs. Look at how everybody has legs for days.
Yeah, they did not know how bodies were supposed to look, especially like in male protagonist action RPG. Like they just gave women ass and tits, but guys,
yes.
Like they were either what you're looking at now, which is Gumby with bell bottoms on, or it was fucking Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. Like that's literally, or Psychonauts, you know, like they didn't know like the physical layout of a human body, male body, unheard of.
Psychonauts, I would say, is both. It's taking like the big chonky ness with like the heads, but then it's all spindly little Gumbies on the body and legs. I might be talking louder, and it's because I'm still getting the audio of this trailer.
You're good,
really
man.
Loud in my ears. But as you're seeing guy with powers, you know, Jedi shit going on.
It's got like a Stargate vibe to it.
Totally. A show I have not watched, but I am familiar enough with Stargate. This seems kind of cool, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, what other shit was doing this at that time?
Halo and Mass Effect.
Yeah. Well, Halo was Mass Effect the original Xbox? That was 360, right?
No, it was 360. It was 2007. It was a couple years after this, but you know, they're also thinking Star Wars. But I mean, this is like KOTOR times, though. This is Star Wars KOTOR. KOTOR 2 was around this time.
Jade Empire, maybe.
Yeah, what a Jade Empire. Yeah, Jade Empire is a later Xbox game. That's
I'm pretty
also
sure
about right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's going on in the ether right now, and that gave you a little taste of what this game looks like. Looks pretty cool, right? Big third-person action game, shooting, powers, vehicles, all this stuff looks really cool. It, reviews were a little mixed.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When I pulled this up, I saw that it was in the 6s.
Yeah,
which a 6 back then is, I mean, a 6.5, like, 7 is like, that's the IGN staple these days. A 6 back then
is everything under a 7 is garbage, right? So like 7's the benchmark, and then anything above a 7 is just how much more did you like it. But anything under a 7 is, wow, this is total garbage, right?
Yep.
So the Xbox version was plagued with a bunch of technical issues. It had really poor controls. It had a bad frame rate, sound glitches, scripting errors, crashes, that kind of stuff. And the story and the art were kind of polarizing, as you could see. We talked about it a little bit there. Some people mentioned the spindly legs and the generic kind of looking aliens, but some people thought it looked really nice as well. It wasn't so brown like a lot of the other things that we were seeing around this time.
A lot of brown that time.
We see a lot more later. The soundtrack was a big highlight. That was done by Tommy Tallarico, who, if you know anything about Tommy Tallarico, does some good work, but also maybe does some good other people's work. But that was a high point for a lot of reviewers.
Yes.
This game also had a pretty interesting system called flick targeting, which was basically just using the right stick. Like you like focused in on a guy, and then you could use the right stick to flick between the targets that.
I mean, your note's very astute here.
Totally. Like I looked through some reviews here. Like these reviews on the side are all ones that I ended up reading. Nobody mentions, hey, this just kind of feels like Z targeting from the N64 days, but I guess it's maybe a little bit different. But come on.
Yeah, I mean,
but this was very different from people who are playing something like Halo, and that's a first-person shooter, and you have those kinds of systems that are going here. And this was an interesting way of tackling that in a third-person style. And we've seen other games that have taken this kind of system and done something else with it. I think about like doesn't like Grand Theft Auto have this kind of system now where you kind of flick between locked on targets?
I mean, I think I
did not play that much of 5 or
I mean, I think everything does, where it's just like bump your thumbstick to go to or click or whatever to the next enemy. 100%.
So that part maybe was a little before its time. But also a lot of reviewers, Alex Navarro specifically from GameSpot at the time, I think this was a GameSpot review, he mentioned that once you got your psychic powers, the game is just incredibly easy. You're able to throw a big shield, raise people up, and force levitate and then force push and throw them off of buildings. There just wasn't a whole lot.
He could probably pull from that review today and tell you, like, if you bumped into Alex at a bar, he could probably tell you some lines from that review.
I'm sure he could. I'm totally sure he could. Also, back on the flick targeting system again. When they brought the game to PC, there's no point in having that, right? Because you just have mouse controls.
You got your mouse.
They got rid of one of the interesting mechanical things about the game when they made the PC version. Although the PC version got rid of a lot of the bad frame rate stuff and the sound glitches.
And I mean, controller support for PC stuff back then was not what it is today either.
Yeah, that was a big crapshoot. I don't know if this actually had controller support. Maybe it does now.
I had it pulled up on Steam. I think it does. I'll double check really quick.
Okay. It was definitely not a priority back in the day. But, a game that started on Xbox came to PC. Maybe it did. With the amount that the Xbox and the PC shared architecture, right?
Yeah, I don't see anything that's like saying that it's deck ready, if you can imagine. I don't see anything about a controller on here either. Who knows?
So again, really ambitious game, but as you see, that bottom left quote is the one that I think is really telling here. Its reach exceeded its grasp. It didn't quite do what it needed to do, and Advent Rising only sold about 130,000 copies. So. Do I have to click back in? I do. That, Bobby, is not why we're talking about Advent Rising. That stuff, who cares? Not interesting. Not important to what we're talking about.
If you say so.
Bobby, looking at this magazine advertisement that I believe was in an issue of Game Informer, is there anything you notice about this ad that is interesting to you? Take your time.
Play and win $1 million.
Play and win $1 million only on Xbox Live. Race to save humanity. Download and find hidden Advent Rising icons to win $1 million or hundreds of other cool prizes. 2-month Xbox Live trial included with game purchase and specially marked packages. Contest starts 6/9 of 05. They were giving away $1 million for this game, Bobby.
To get people to play this thing?
Yes. But this was all they thought this game was going to be huge anyway. And this is just like the topper. Like how
only on Xbox Live. They're giving you 2 months free of live.
2 months free of live when you buy this game.
Yep.
And over these 2 months, you're going to be able to go in and find these hidden symbols, and then you're going to be able to win some really cool shit. Also, the game's good, right? That
wink, wink. Yeah.
All right. How did this contest work? Because this is the part that I think is the most interesting part of Advent Rising. This actually comes from a Major Nelson post that I was able to find on Xbox.com.
Damn.
Advent Rising ships Tuesday, May 31st on Xbox. Contest starts the following Thursday, June 9th. Once a week for 6 weeks, an Easter egg, an icon in the form of a letter A, it's like an Advent symbol, will be downloaded via Xbox Live and hidden within a level of Advent Rising. Majesco will then distribute a clue via news outlets as to its whereabouts. Once found, the player will be given a code and prompted to log into the contest website at adventtrilogy.com/contest. Trilogy, that's funny. Using their Xbox Live gamertag and enter the code they've found. The first person to do that is this week's winner. So simple. Prizes include 6 weeks of cash prizes totaling $10,000, then $20,000, then $30,000, then $40,000, then $50,000, and a grand prize of $1 million.
God.
You can also get 12-month Xbox Live subscription cards from Microsoft.
Unheard of.
You can get cool Sobe exclusive merch.
Sobe.
Bobby, are you a Sobe guy?
I drank it was like a pink one, like a cloudy pink.
Sure. Ginkgo biloba or some bullshit.
Yeah, I had Sobeys. I was in high school. I was a freshman in college at this point in time, so I was absolutely drinking Sobe.
I had shirts with these two fucking geckos on them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
but with this contest, you could get Sobe refrigerators, guitars, golf bags, MP3 players, and a 1-year supply of Sobe drinks and more. You could also get Advent Rising strategy guides from Brady Games. I don't know why you need strategy guides. You've already been playing the game, and you must be pretty good at it if you're finding all the hidden shit. So I don't know why you need a strategy guide. But then you could also get officially licensed Xbox controllers from Radica. I don't know who the fuck Radica is, but
Radica it's a Xbox controller?
A third-party controller, so it must.
Maybe we covered it in one of our prior deep dives where we talked about best gaming controllers.
I don't think we mentioned this one.
Radica Gamester Xbox controller. Let's see here. Oh, is this? Yeah, I 100% played on one of these, not by choice, but because I was at a friend's house. You've absolutely seen this fucking controller, dude.
If it didn't have a fan in it to keep my hands cool, then I didn't want it.
They also had an FPS one that looked like 2 gun handles.
Oh God! Oh no!
But
you probably could have used that for Advent Rising because you could dual wield in this game.
Well, yeah, that's an FPS master controller is what they called it. Very original.
Wow.
Anyway,
so big contest, big prizes. Let's see how did it go. None of that shit happened. So as we said, the game shipped May 31st. The contest was supposed to run from June to August.
Yep.
In the very first week, there were technical issues with the way you submitted things. The site didn't work. The site that you submitted your shit on did not work. So then after the second week, there were still problems. And then they suspended the contest. And they're like, okay, we'll get this contest right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then in August, the day the contest was originally supposed to end, Majesco canceled the contest entirely.
quietly canceled the
Beautiful
contest.
Stuff. Majesco here. This is their statement. So it was quiet. They only put this on a couple little things, but they did make a statement about this. After careful assessment of the technical issues identified with Advent Rising Race to Save Humanity contest, Majesco Entertainment and Xbox Live have determined there to be no technically feasible solution that would allow the contest to continue in a fair and secure manner.
Dude, it's like could you imagine? Since May, you've been playing this piece of shit game. And it's like...
Now, hang on. The contest started June 9th, though. So really, you've only had the game for like a week.
Right.
But yes, the idea that you spent the whole week playing this game, maybe you took a whole week off of work to like know every nook and cranny of every level of this game, so you're ready when they present the stuff.
It's like absolutely. It's like in A Christmas Story when Ralphie gets the letter from little orphan Annie. It's exactly
drink
that.
Your fucking Ovaltine.
That's exactly what Majesco could have said here. It's just drink your Ovaltine. Because it's drink like every day he's writing down those fucking codes and using his little orphan Annie decoder it's the same shit. It's like here's your Ovaltine of video games.
It's beautiful. I was actually just listening to Shelf by Genre with Austin Walker. When they were talking, they're reading the Hobbit, and he was mentioning how Tolkien put like the chart for what the runes mean in the book. So if you're a kid, you can go and actually see what some of the runes on some of the things mean. And Austin absolutely drink your
Hey, if you want to cross over here, folks, go to Chasey K Plays YouTube channel, look up any of his Star Wars games. And there's some glyphs for you to decode on his thumbnail. So go and do that.
Yeah. Any minute. I haven't even decoded those.
You should. There's some good little fun things in there. All
right. So there are a lot of theories about why this contest didn't go as planned. There was Majesco's, we just read it. Here's Majesco's statement about it. But like they said, the submission form didn't quite work. Like we couldn't get the submissions, and you can't pick a winner if you can't have them submit anything. You also have to remember that this is 2005 Xbox Live, so there were a lot of hackers and cheaters and data miners. That's not really a fair way of running a contest either. When you're putting little bits of information in a game, the data miners are going to be able to find that really quick, find whatever code you get, and then put those in before anybody who legitimately plays the game would be able to find it. That is an issue.
Yep.
You also have to think that downloads of these updates that would put the little symbols in here. Again, this is original Xbox Live. We're not on the 360 Xbox Live era.
No.
We're not anywhere near Xbox One or where a lot of things are these consistent and concurrent downloads. These were inconsistent among regions at the time. So some players would get a huge advantage by just having the update go to them, be pushed to them earlier than somebody in Australia or whatever, or the other way around. Maybe Australia gets it before us. That's happened too. Or a lot of conspiracy theorists here think that Majesco really couldn't have made good on the deal anyway. They were having a lot of money trouble right now.
This is just fucking Scott's tots. That's all this is.
They'd actually just been recently sued by their own stockholders because their share price dipped a lot. That's here on the left.
Now, one thing I will flag, and again, you and I are very Midwest. You know this, yes. I know this. High-speed internet was very scarce at this time. Xbox Live was not, in 2005, it was getting better, but it was still not what you like. When you think about the internet today, you have to recognize that like this was at the time, like we can have a whole fucking discussion outside of this episode about my parents specifically were like, what the fuck do you mean you're going to put your Xbox on the internet? What are you doing? Like there was a whole thing with this that you had to convince your family to even let you do it if you had the infrastructure to do this. So it's weird to tie this to that also at that time point.
Yeah. You have only so many people who could be eligible from this in the first place. Now, these downloads are incredibly small because it's only putting in a tiny bit of data into the game. But as you said, just the initial hump of even getting Xbox Live and justifying that to your parents or whatever was such an undertaking that you wouldn't have gotten this. Like, this is,
Yeah.
we're not too far off of the era of Halo 1 having the map pack that you could go buy in physical stores, because you're not downloading shit from the internet at this time.
God, I
but anyway, so there were plenty of technical issues that you could point to, but people were also pointing at these financial issues for Majesco. I'm not going to read the whole thing there on the left, but their CEO quit after the company had downgraded its financial outlook because of sales of Psychonauts and Advent Rising. Both did not do very well at all. And they went from what did I have here? Estimated annual profit also fell steeply, going from 16 to 18 million dollars in operating income to an operating loss of 16 to 19 million dollars. That's not where you want to be. So
we
that's
call
why
that in the biz tits up.
So do you really think they had a spare mill that they could go, oh, we should just give this to some kid, right? They might not have. Who knows? It's possible. All right. You still got something though. You know, they weren't just going to let you get nothing. You know, this is a little bit more than drink your Ovaltine. As a consolation prize, Majesco offered anyone who sent the UPC from their Advent Rising box and their registered gamer tag they had participated in the contest with, they would get 2 free Majesco games from their semi-recent back catalog. And those choices are these 5. Blood Rain 2, Guilty Gear X2 #reload. I think it's just reload, but I'm going to say the hashtag in there. Psychonauts, Raises Hell, and Phantom Dust. Bobby, what 2 games you picking here?
I am getting Psychonauts and I am getting Blood Rain 2.
Okay. I would also pick Psychonauts, obviously, one of my favorite games of all time, which didn't sell very well. And then I also, for very cheap, I did not buy this full price, thankfully. I bought this very cheaply secondhand. I bought a copy of Phantom Dust. And you know what? That game's not very good.
No, I'm looking at it. And again, I hate to say this. Weird legs in Phantom Dust also.
Phantom Dust has weird legs. You're totally right.
That's our next deep dive, folks.
Like
weirdest legs in video games is going to be our next list.
Ooh, I like it. But that was like a 3D arena fighter where you had psychic powers that you were throwing at different people. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this was not $1 million, Bobby. This wasn't even $10,000. This was 2 video games that probably did not sell well either.
I mean, how much could it? It's just a simple competition. How much could it cost, Michael? $10?
I know. Anyway, what else do I got here? Aftermath here. GlyphX never made another Advent Rising game, unfortunately, Bobby. I'm so sorry. AdventTrilogy.com does not live today. They also didn't make any video games after Advent Rising. The studio was acquired by Sandman Studios in 2006. They're more of like a graphics house and art stuff. They weren't really doing. They have video games, but it's more like edutainment kind of stuff. It's not the video games that we're talking about here with Advent Rising, or other. They weren't putting stuff out on Xbox. But most of the Advent Rising team would go on, like I said, to form Chair Entertainment in 2005. And you know them from Shadow Complex and Infinity Blade. Majesco, they ended up living through this financial struggle. Barely, but they did. But in 2016, they were acquired by Polarity TE Inc., which is a biotech company, and they also stopped making video games. But then the CEO, the then CEO, not the one who left when all these problems in 2005 happened, the CEO at that time would end up repurchasing the company through a management buyout in 2017. But then the company sold again to Liquid Media Group in 2018. I believe Majesco as a brand is still out there and still kind of doing stuff, but they're not really doing stuff these days.
Dude.
There was a spin-off game planned, Advent Shadow. And that was going to be on the PSP, but that got canceled in 2006. You can see the logo here and a screenshot from a build of the game at this point. Gotta say, doesn't look great. And then we did mention the game creator, Donald Mustard. He would go on to co-create Fortnite when Epic bought Chair Entertainment. I can't remember exactly when that happened, but He went to go co-create Fortnite. Good gig if you can get it.
I might have misheard you. Did you play Advent Rising?
I did play Advent Rising. It was after the fact.
Okay.
I remember reading magazines, like reading Game Informer,
Sure.
and seeing this and going, one, this box art looks great.
Yeah,
because it looks so
totally.
much different than all the other box art that was out there. GlyphX, say what you will about them, they knew how to make good box art.
Yeah.
And also seeing that thing about $1 million, even though I knew I wasn't buying this game or wasn't at least buying it new, there was something about like, whoa, this is crazy. Like a video game's doing that. That's insane. That's how could somebody make this work? Somebody's gonna go out there and make $1 million by playing video games.
I know.
Awesome. But I also was just intrigued by the game. I thought the game looked cool. I was watching Star Wars and playing Halo 2. I was interested in what Advent Rising was selling me. And so I did end up buying a used copy of this game way later, probably about the time I was buying copies of Phantom Dust. And I didn't really like it. It didn't really play all that well.
I could buy this and play this on Steam right now.
You could. I don't think you should, but you could.
$10.
You could do that. But Bobby, there is hope for the Advent series. Ziggurat Interactive has purchased the license to both Advent Rising as well as Blood Rain and some other Majesco properties. They bought those in 2020. We got a new Blood Rain game. I don't know if you remember, there was like a 2D side-scrolling Blood Rain game, I believe. That was by Ziggurat Interactive. So it's always possible we might get another Advent Rising game. Maybe we'll get Advent Shadow. Maybe we'll get the sequel to Advent Rising. Who knows?
There's some weird games here from them. Oh boy, you should go cruise the Ziggurat Interactive. Just go to their new releases section on their page in Steam. It's something.
I will check that out. But you know where I'm not going to peruse, Bobby? AdventTrilogy.com.
That thing was probably dead decades ago.
Oh, I'm sure. This is not actually live footage of it, but this is a screenshot of what it looks like right now. That's big old 404. You ain't getting nothing out of AdventTrilogy.com. I believe there is some Wayback Machine stuff that you can do if you wanted to see what this site kind of looked like, but it's very much not important. So, Bobby, what did we learn here?
That video games don't make money, Chase.
Yeah.
And that the internet and home consoles had a very interesting beginning. And the Xbox era of video games is undisputed, in my opinion. I think that is some of the best. Like when you talk about a Halo, when you talk about a Mass Effect, and you're putting this game kind of in that aura, sure, I get excited, but I don't know, man. I learned that you should not trust the internet at all.
Do you think game companies learned that they shouldn't put a big, dumb, stupid contest that will technically not work to sell their video games? You don't think they've learned that lesson?
No, almost assuredly. Well, I mean, to lesser degrees, but I mean, I think about like even Fallout 76 having like all that controversy about the bait and switch on the bags people got from I think about all the hacking. Well, these game companies have not only your money now, but they have your intimate details, credit cards, personal addresses, and that stuff's leaked out. So the consumer's been boned by these game places for a long time.
So I don't have a slide for this, but I did have a story. Do you remember a little guy named Peter Molyneux?
I remember his balls. Peter Molyneux's balls.
His company, not Lionhead, but after that, I forgot the name of the company that is he still with them now? I don't
know. His last game ever apparently is about to come out this year.
Yeah. But there was a studio that he made post Lionhead, and that 22 Cans, that was it. 22 cans. Why do I remember these things? And their first game was Curiosity, What's Inside the Cube, I think.
That sounds very familiar.
Do you remember anything about that video game, Bobby?
No.
So that was a game where it was a mobile game, and it was a big cube with lots of little voxels in it. And you would go into the game and you would chip away at each of these voxels. And underneath that layer would be another layer of the cube, and then another layer, and another, like a Matryoshka doll kind of thing. And you would continue to chip away at this cube. And then whoever chipped the last voxel away would win $1 million.
It was a UK man, apparently.
Yes. I believe if you read that further, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong, he also did not get his money.
No.
No, of course
not.
Of course. Why would anybody who thinks that who gets offered $1 million, why would we think they would actually get $1 million? Of course he didn't get his money. Curiosity was
Peter Molyneux admitted that calling the prize life-changing was a mistake and apologized for the outcome.
Oh, you're right. It wasn't $1 million, was it?
No,
it was just that it would. That's right. He didn't sell it that way. He said
it was a life-changing reward.
Whatever the prize would be life-changing. That's not how Peter Molyneux talks. That's the
pretty,
wrong
pretty close.
Accent, but
pretty close.
Yes, it would be a life-changing prize. That's right. God, ridiculous. Such a ridiculous thing. I was in the beta test for that. You know me, Bobby. I don't beta test shit.
No.
But I was in the beta test for Curiosity, What's Inside the Cube, and you were able to submit images, and those images would be layers on the cube sometimes. So I
saw that. Yes,
there was my big face on the cube at one point until people chipped it away. I think that was just for the beta, though, not for the.
That's too bad.
Game. Anyway, Bobby, that's Advent Rising.
That's a fascinating rabbit hole of a thing.
This has taken hold of my brain for such a long time. The video game, who cares? Like, it came, it went. It was supposed to be big. It wasn't big. That happens all the time. But the audacity of offering this $1 million prize, the audacity of not really knowing how it would work, like not knowing how to build the contest in a way that somebody could actually win. It's ridiculous to me. I'm in marketing now. I'm in advertising, and I see clients continue to do this to this day, where somebody goes, "We should have a big contest," and I go, "Great. How will you run it?" And they go, "Well, that's not important. What's important is that it's like a big prize, and everybody's really excited about it." I'm like, okay, I get that, but also, how does somebody do it? Like, how do you determine who wins? What are we doing for this contest? And it's never on their minds, because they don't care that it works. They just care that it works in that it gets somebody to buy the thing.
If you think about last year, it would not be too far-fetched. All things that we know now, if the game Mind's Eye would have had a stupid promo like this one. It was supposed to be the GTA Cyberpunk killer.
Yeah.
That thing was dead on a fucking rival. I could only imagine, and I mean, I think they're very similar games. They're both trying to crib into another genre or memory. This is fascinating. I think this one slipped by me. At the time, I was definitely playing like a lot of Halo. That's pretty much all I cared about at that point in my life. Mass Effect would later take that spot, but Advent Rising, I went and checked. I have my entire history of Xbox gaming linked to this like infinite gaming profile, and I searched through it, and I did not have any record of playing this game on my own account.
I have a theory that this would have been your anthem.
Probably.
Back in the Xbox days.
Yeah.
That Bobby would. There was a part you've never talked about this game, so I felt like it was pretty safe that you'd never seen it, and I was good to talk about it. But there's part of me that was like, this is such a fucking Bobby game. Not that it's bad, but that it's the promises it's making here are
I would have
things
been
that
all over it
for you. And and
100%.
So I could see a what did you say, sophomore in college?
Yeah.
I could see sophomore in college Bobby P's going, guys, you don't understand the flick targeting system. It's so good. Like they're doing such
absolutely,
cool
dude.
game.
I would have loved. I mean, all
totally
this shit here would have been so fucking cool. Also, it's just like,
and then to your friends, you'd go, also $1 million, guys.
Well,
like, if you don't care about any of that other shit, $1 million.
This was a point where I'd moved. So when I was in college and I was basically trying to get through my sophomore year, I wasn't around. I had a video store I rented a lot of shit from. Didn't have a ton of money. Back then, I played way less games. I mean, like maybe double-digit games a year if I was lucky. I rented a lot of stuff. This could have easily been something that I would have been like, I want to play that box art. That would have done it for me for sure. Yeah, crazy man.
Stuff. I think I'm out of slides.
Okay, I'll move us over to credits here, and we can talk a little bit more about what we've been doing here. Chase, awesome job. I know you did a lot of work on that slideshow. I appreciate you. That was a ton of fun. I had no idea that this is where we would be 45 minutes later, talking about a fucking hoax, which is great. But what's not a hoax is we played Animal Crossing again on Monday night. And I left that stream thinking that we were both just, oh yeah, we did that. Like, I don't think that there was a whole lot of passion there. I don't think we both care that much.
Yeah. It was nice to go back and see my townspeople and to see my city and go, yeah, I spent a lot of time here.
Yep.
And I had a really good time for a lot of time.
Yep.
And then I thought, do I want to keep playing this? And I thought, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't. But it's nice that it's there. I actually might load it up a little bit more and play through some of the hotel stuff. I do want to see a little bit more.
This weekend should be perfect for that.
I think that would probably be a good time. So I will check out some of that. But in terms of, am I going to be a daily Animal Crossing guy again? And the answer is just no. To your wife's chagrin, I am sure. I saw that she was playing before we loaded up the podcast tonight, and I was like, I do kind of want to just come over and say hi, but also I don't want to get your hopes up that I'm going to keep playing this video.
Yep, she's I think doing the hotel stuff, which is great. I'm glad that she's enjoying it. But we did check that out.
The next time I come over to your house for real, not in Animal Crossing, I would love for her to give me a tour through her hotel. Yeah,
we should do it. We should do that. But that was our Animal Crossing stream. That was on Monday night. You can go and watch that on our Twitch archive or our YouTube page, whichever you prefer. And then tonight, of course, was our deep dive with Chase. If you are listening to this, that's because you found our audio on Friday. But if you're watching this, we have podcasts go up on Fridays. You can go and watch them all week long if you want to. But we have 10 years worth of podcasts. So if you enjoy what we're doing here and if you enjoy the deep dives, we've got at least placeholders for the rest of the calendar year to do more of these. If you have a game or a topic that you think would be interesting for us to explore, you can definitely reach out to us on social or email. But you can find all of our stuff, 10 years worth of podcasts, anywhere that you listen to them. And you can also follow along on our socials right there. But if you want more of Chase's obscure interest, he's got places for you to go and hang out. Chase, tell the fine folks.
I'm playing through Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic on the original Xbox. There's nothing obscure about that. That was a very popular video game.
Yeah, and I guess like the way that you play Magic or what you're into in Magic is not obscure whatsoever.
That one's obscure. That one I give you that. That's pretty obscure.
Yeah.
You can check out my YouTube channel, Chase Gay Plays, where, like I said, I'm playing through Star Wars Knights of the Republic. It's a series called Go Play a Star War, named by one of my best friends in the world. Who could it be? That's been a lot of fun. There's a new episode out, and I'm still on Korriban, and I think I'm wrapping that one up. So we're about to move on to a new planet, and I think, give you guys a little hint, I think that new planet's going to be Kashyyyk, and or Kashyyyk. Bobby, you're the Star Wars guy. Is it Kashyyyk or Kashyyyk?
Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk. I've always said Kashyyyk. I've heard some people say Kashyyyk, and I go, that doesn't sound right, but you know. It's right.
Yeah, you are 100% correct, my friend. They are wrong.
Good. I'm glad. And I believe that's where I will get my last party member, if I'm not mistaken. And so
Correct.
I'm pretty excited about that. I also have another podcast that I do with good friend of the show, Pierce Shane. It's called Pilot Program. Pierce and I watch the first episodes of every television show ever made. Our last episode was on Star Trek, the original series, and that was a lot of fun. Neither Pierce nor I are Trekkies, but we had a good time watching that show and talking about the bigger legacy of Star Trek. And I've continued watching a little bit more Star Trek since then, and I look forward to talking about that on the next episode of Pilot Program, which we will be covering the Golden Girls. So
hell yeah,
bit of a shift,
light speed shift.
That'll also be very exciting too. I'm very much looking forward to watching Betty White do her thing.
Hell yeah!
So go check out any of those things, and then as Bobby mentioned, I do have another YouTube channel based on Magic the Gathering. Specifically the Pauper format where you can only play common cards. And I just look at Magic the Gathering commons and talk about what decks they could go in, or talk about if they're good, or just like go down memory lane and talk about things that I know from Magic's past. That's called Common Knowledge. So go check that out, Common Knowledge MTG on YouTube. That's it. That's all I do, which is a lot. It's too many things. I should probably stop doing as many things.
Well, that has been our first deep dive of the year. Chase, again, a big, huge thank you to you. I know this was not easy to do. We will have a new video game for you to check out with us on Monday night next week. And then we will have even more games that have been coming out this month to tell you about on a What You've Been Playing next week. So go ahead, like, subscribe, follow, tune in, whatever you need to do. We'll tell you about more stuff next week. Thanks, everybody.